Yeah, YouTubers, Tazman here, bringing you another episode of Fantasy Grounds from the ground up. And in this episode, I after we've now completed our little campaign or our little adventure that we created, and I've received various requests that we kind of go look at the different classes and creating each of the classes. So some of them have quirks, some of them don't, but and this will be a learning experience for both of us, to be completely honest, because I have not made every single class with every single possible variant and things like that. So some of these things we might be figuring out together. Lots of these other things, you know, I'll be able to actually be the instructor, so to speak. So that's what we're going to do. We're actually going to start probably, I figure what we'll do is we'll just start at the top. We're just doing the player's handbook right now. If you'd like to know of, well, pretty much those are all the classes anyway. Um, but we're just going to use the default player's handbook for all these different things. And we're just going to start at the top with Barbarian, then Bard, then Cleric. So we'll make another Cleric, maybe not be life domain like we were before, Druid, Fighter, Monk, so on and so forth. So we're going to go through each of these and create each of them, and I imagine each one will be one episode. And I guess we could just do, you know, the Barbarian will be this race, and then when we get to the bottom, because there's more classes than there are races, we'll loop back up to the top and, you know, continue that way. The backgrounds, I don't know that they're really important. We could do the Acolyte for every one of them, or we could try and, you know, do different types of things. Really, as far as background goes, and even as race goes, um, they're not very complex. I mean, all they do is maybe change, you know, um, bonuses to your modifiers to your attributes or something like that, or give you special uh, tools, a couple skills. So really, these are not that critical, because all they really do, like I said, is give you starting gold, give you starting equipment tools, and give you a couple skills that your class and, well, that your character is going to be able to have. So I'm not too worried. I'll let you guys tell me what you think as far as, do we want to just go down the list of backgrounds as well. I imagine by the time this first one is out, we should have an idea of what you guys want, and we'll be able to continue there. So following this layout that we were just talking about, this means our first person will be a Barbarian Dragonborn Acolyte. Um, and that, if you ask me, is usually the hardest part. We won't be using the character wizard just because we want to understand the behind the scenes part. So we're just going to use the add item here, and we're going to create a new character. I could spend all day trying to think of a name, but I'm just going to call him Dragonborn. Actually, we'll just call him Dragonborn Barbarian. That way we know who he is. Dragonborn. Yes, RN. Did I spell that right? Dragonborn Barbarian. Barbarian. Okay. Oh, we'll put a space there. At least make that look good. Alright, so we already know he's going to be a barbarian, so we'll drag that there. And actually, we forgot our order. We like to do this order. So we're just going to make him an acolyte. So let's do this, and this will tell us what his skills he gets are. So he gets right here, insight and religion. So we don't want to pick those, which are not options. So as a barbarian, I would think we get 2, so maybe athletics and survival sound like a barbarian type thing. I mean, you could do whatever you want. probably not. I mean, I kind of think of a barbarian as the less intelligent type of person. However, they're not always that way. That's just what I'm thinking. So we're going to do athletics. He's brute strength and his survival skills. So I think we'll do that. So that takes care of that. And that also takes care of some of these things. I'm going to go ahead and leave. Let's actually just pin this down here real quick. So we'll do that. We'll make sure we do Barbarian. And we'll go ahead and make him Dragonborn, which will change our other attributes there. Now, as usual, this automatically adds in our things here, which means when we are doing our rolling, we have to just do a tiny bit of math, which I'm okay with. So I'm just going to go ahead and click our little macro right here real quick. So let's clear the screen I keep saying real quick. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Wow. All right, so his highest attribute here is going to be 16. He has a 15. I probably, because he's going to be taking hits, I probably want to put the 16 in con, because I get +2 to his strength. So I could put like the 15 there and actually get him 17. Or I could have done strength with that and got an 18. But I think I want a pretty good con, and a +3 is going to help us. So this will be, our 16 is now used. Let's go ahead and put our 15 up here. +2 is 17. I'm going to put his dump stat as his intelligence, maybe. And then we have 14, 14, 14. Where should I put those? 14, 14, and 14. All right, 17, 14, 16, 11, 14, 14. Perfect. So there we go. That just really quick gives us our ideas here as to what our guy's going to be. So as the rule states, you get max health, so he gets a D12 +3, so that's 15 on health, which is not terrible for a first level character. And I think that pretty much completes everything on our first page. So now let's go ahead and look here. So it should have the 4 things we selected. We don't need to do anything additional there. Let's go ahead and look at our different things here. So I'm just thinking we're going to go ahead and close these. I'm probably going to have to rearrange those every single time. So as a barbarian, we get rage. That is something we're going to want to keep track of. So I'm pretty sure there's a Rob Tui thing. Shelter the faithful. This really is just this is part of your acolyte. And this just means that you can find refuge. So you command respect of others. So you can find refuge for free where other people might be able to pay or have to pay in order to stay, like at a temple. So that really, role-playing only, doesn't really matter. And then Unarmored Defense. This is, while not wearing armor, this is definitely a good one to keep in mind. Because while not wearing armor, your armor class is 10 plus your dex plus your constitution. So this is where you could do some quick math. Our dex and constitution is 5. And I believe, if I'm right, you can come into here and we can see, oh, it automatically has it. So here's the dex is full, constitution is where we're getting our armor class from. So with nothing on at all, we're at 15 because it's the base 10 plus your dex plus your con. So if it, for whatever reason, it doesn't do that automatically for you, this is where you would set up these things. So this is where your speed your initiative and your AC go. So this would be your speed. If you have armor that slows you down or something, you can add that there. Your dex, if there's any miscellaneous things, you know, like you have a +2 ring that gives you a higher armor class, I don't know, something like that. So this is where all that goes. And you can also, like, if you are wearing what's it called, heavy armor or something like scale mail, you click that guy and that should affect this guy right here. I think it should automatically give you disadvantage when you're stealthing. However, we're not wearing armor, so we don't have to worry about that. So we can see that one's already taken care of, so we can move on. So let's go ahead down here. Breath weapon, that is definitely one that has some stuff to it. Let's put this down a little lower because now we're in, this is a feature, these are traits. So you can see feature and trait there. Damage resistance, I'm believing this, you have resistance damage type associated with your Draconic Ancestry. So this is, once again, this is RP stuff. However, this also has to do with what type of dragon you are. If we go look at the breath weapon, we can actually see, or maybe it's, it's this one, Draconic Ancestry. So if we click on this one, this is what I was looking for. This determines what our breath weapon type is. So if we're a black Dragonborn, that means our damage type is acid, and it's a 5 by 30 foot line. So it's just a straight line of acid that goes 30 feet. Blue is a line. If we go down here further, we can see then we have our cones. So with cone is your gold, green, red, silver, and white. So let's just choose ours real quick, and I'm going to choose, what should we choose? I actually want to choose lightning. So we can either be a bronze or a blue Dragonborn. And as far as this goes, it's the same. I think I want to be bronze. So here's what I'm going to do for Draconic Ancestry. I'm going to go ahead and in parentheses just type bronze. B-R-O-N-Z. Oh, by the way, ignore the children outside. I have the window open because it's hot and our neighbors are outside playing, I guess. So this gives us bronze. Maybe even inside this, just I'll put lightning. So there, bronze lightning. I could maybe even add, you know, line or whatever, but I can remember that. That's not a big deal. All right, and then this means we also have damage resistance to the damage associated with our Draconic Ancestry. So we come over here. I thought resistances were in here. To be honest, I don't know. Damage resistance. Well, let's just put it here. I thought there was a spot for it, but maybe there isn't. Lightning. And forgive me if I misspell stuff. I'm a terrible speller. Ever since I lived in Chile, down in South America for 2 years, it just messed up my English. And I wasn't that great to begin with. Okay, so we have resistance to that, so that is good now. And actually, you know what? I think we're going to keep that because I know it keeps that information as well. All right, so that means our breath weapon here is also lightning. So maybe we don't need, well, let's just do it this way. Just make it a little cleaner. Let's just make us bronze, lightning, and our breath weapon is also L-I-G-H-T-N-I-N-G. All right, so that takes care of that. You can see here we have proficiency in light armor, medium armor with shields. However, we get that bonus if we do not have armor. Now, I believe that also means we can't have a shield, right? While not wearing any armor, your armor class is 10 plus your dex, your constitution modifier. You can use a shield still. Okay, so we can use a shield, which is kind of nice. So our guy might want a shield just to even jump that up a little bit higher. However, that means he's only using one-handed weapons when he's using his shield. Let's see. So we have that. Weapons, simple and martial. So we're good there. He gets Draconic, common, and 2 more of his choice. So let's go ahead, add 1 more of those. And just to be quick, let's do Goblin. I don't remember if it's actually Goblin or Goblish. Languages, Goblin. And maybe for the other one, let's do Orc. That sounds barbaric to me. So go ahead and get rid of this and do Orc. Or Orv, you know. And what that will do is make it so now when we click on this, of course, because we're GM, we actually can see them all. But if you are a player, by typing these in, you're able to see those languages. So don't cheat. All right, there we go. So now let's move on to inventory. So inventory comes from both our background and also from our class. Really, I don't think you get any inventory from race at all. I might stand corrected, but I'm pretty sure you do not get any kind of inventory from there. Female names, Draconic, ability, age, alignment, size, speed, breath, weapon, resistance, and languages. Yeah, so it doesn't look like we get anything from there. However, from our background, we do see we get a holy symbol. So if we come in here and we go ahead and open up items, and why we wait, let's go ahead and modify these things to be the types of money that we have. The default ones for D&D 5e is your copper pieces, silver pieces, electrum pieces, gold pieces, and platinum pieces. So you can see this is how they are, just PP, GP, EP, SP, and CP. You'll want to do that exact same type of thing here. It doesn't matter the actual order. I just usually do CP, silver pieces, EP for electrum, and then GP for gold pieces, and then PP for platinum pieces. It doesn't matter the actual order you put them in. This is just so the game knows if the money value is CP, it goes into this little box. If you're adding it, so you'll notice here we get 15 GP. You need to click on the little box just once. It'll kind of get darker than the others, and then you can type in your value. I've seen people where, you know, they click on this, or they think they click on the box and it's not actually highlighted, and they're not typing in there. They can't figure out where it is because maybe they were in an equipment box a little earlier. All right, so what we get a holy symbol. Holy symbol, where's that holy symbol? Let's see, is there a holy symbol in here? All right, let's just look up symbol. S-Y-M, symbol. It doesn't look like there is. If this isn't very heavy, scroll of symbol. That doesn't actually have a thing. The other thing you can do is, so you can look up items directly in your items. Sometimes they're not there. Let's just go ahead and delete this. There we go. But you can also sometimes, at least when you're in your class part, there's these 3 little lookup things. There's a weapon list, armor list, adventuring gear, and tools. Sometimes you can find some of those items in here because they're named just a little bit different. So let's do SYM. Let's try sim. Nope, nothing in there. Let's try tools maybe. SYM. I thought one of these had something like that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to create a holy symbol. I don't really worry about the weight. Maybe your GM will. If they worry about the weight, then we'll talk about that just right now. So you'll notice this says the name, the location, the weight. So if this is say 0.5, then fine, make it 0.5. Location, we'll just leave it there. Let's see. There's holy symbol and location. We don't have a backpack yet, so I'm not going to actually add that. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So now that we've done that, instead of hitting enter, which will create a new line, you just click off of it, anywhere off of it, and that registers it. If you do hit enter, it'll create a new one. No biggie. If it creates a new one, you can always just come to the add and then go to it like that. Hold on just one second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. So anyway, there are 3 states for any items that you have that's equipment, and that is shown right here. So you have this, which is a little bag, meaning that it's carried. If we click that, now it is equipped. So if this were a weapon or armor, it would actually apply to your armor class or actually be a weapon that you can use. And then there's none. This means that I do have this item, but I left it at home. It's in a drawer or something like that. So, and you'll notice that it actually changes the carried weight, your current weight. If I change that to not on me, then obviously it also drops that down. So I'm going to go ahead and add these other things. You don't have to watch me do that individually. And then I'm also going to add the things from our class here, which is a great axe or a martial melee weapon, 2 hand axes or a simple weapon, and the explorer's pack and 4 javelins. So I'm going to do all that, and I will come back when I have that done. So I will see you guys in a minute. Okay, so we now have all the equipment. Now, one thing, this is just strictly for, you know, keeping track of the weight and stuff like that, and maybe just for nicety, you know, making it look good. But if we come up here and we click on backpack, which is part of the explorer's pack, and whoops, I want the K. I'm going to highlight that. And a neat thing you can do is you could say these are things that are attached to the backpack or in the backpack. So we could say this bedroll is, so I'm going to Control V there. My clothes are in my backpack. My vestments are in my backpack. My hand axe is probably on my side. My amulet's on my neck. Incense sticks, they're in the backpack. Javelins are on the back. My mess kit's in there. This is my pouch that has my gold in it. I'm gonna have that in my backpack as well. My prayer book, my day of rations, hemp rope, that's on the side of the backpack, the tinder, the torches, and the water skin. Now, once I click off of this and click on one of these other things, you'll see it actually indents these things, showing they're on the backpack. I'm going to make this a little longer. Thank goodness I could. Let's go ahead and turn off the edit mode. And if this is where this really shines. So here you can see my current weight is 86.15 units of weight. I don't know if it's pounds or what, but if on the backpack I actually change its state to I have one, but it's not on me, you'll notice it actually changes the current weight that we're carrying. So we could actually say, oh yeah, I left this back at camp, but that means if I'm, you know, down in a cave or something, I no longer have access to my torches. I have no access to any of this stuff because I don't have it on me. So this is just kind of a cool feature that you can do if you're playing with weight and, you know, can't have this, or, you know, you leave some components, like I left my battle axe at home. Now it's not on me, right? That's equipped. So there we go. I think that takes care of that section. Let's move on to the notes. Now this is all, you know, pretty much whatever you want it to be. If we go back to our acolyte here, we have some tables that we can roll for our personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws. Generally, you get 2 ideals or 2 personality traits. So let's go ahead and roll that. We got a 3, which is number 3 right here. Let's go ahead and drag that up to personality traits, and then I'm going to hit enter so we can enter a new one and go ahead and roll. Hopefully we don't get a 3 again. We got an 8, so let's go ahead and drag that up there on the line underneath. So there's our personality traits. These just help you in role playing your character, understanding, you know, why he or she is acting or doing the things that they do. What their goals, what their drives are, and stuff like that. So let's go look at his ideal. Go ahead and roll that up. Oh, that teetered there. So this is the ideal. There we go. Then let's go ahead and do the bonds. Perfect 1 there. And finally a flaw, because everyone has flaws. These actually, if you ask me, the flaw is one of the more important ones to actually help you role play your character. You know, it's their flaws that round them out. So there we go. I'm inflexible in my thinking. So this means if I'm playing this person, I come up with a plan, I'm not necessarily going to go with anyone else's. I like my plan, period. That's it. End of story. Don't want to talk about it. All right, so now that we have that stuff, the alignment also is an important thing up here. Let's just make him Neutral, neutral. You know, you have your lawful good, you have your neutral good, your chaotic good, you have your neutral, lawful neutral, you have your neutral, you have your chaotic neutral, you have your lawful evil, neutral evil, and then of course you have your chaotic evil. So those are the ones to choose from. In one of my past videos, I go over all those and kind of discuss them. The gender, age, height, weight is completely up to you. If you want to get little, if you really like the rolling and want to roll for this stuff, it actually does have some tables in here. For example, your it's not size, age, where it says, you know, these are the age range. The weight actually is one that has it. That might actually be up here. It's not an actual table for you to roll on, but usually gives you information on clan names, ability score, age, alignment. It tells you what Dragonborns generally are. I don't think it's under size, because, oh, maybe it is. Dragonborn are taller, heavier than humans, almost 250 pounds. Your size is medium. Sometimes they might have a little other thing saying your height, and I'm not sure exactly where that is in this list here, but it'll say, you know, height. It'll say Dragonborns are generally, you know, 5 feet. Roll a d12 to, and then add that in inches onto the 5 feet or something like that. So you can do that stuff. Then you have the appearance. This is all just pure for yourself, for your role playing, your deity. I forgot that one. And then of course notes, any notes you want to take as you're playing, or, you know, however you want to take them. You can also take notes right here in the notes section, just by clicking on notes and creating your notes in there. And then the shift named shape type. This is actually part of, I believe it's the Diablo Bob's, whatchamacallit, one-click druid. That's what it is. So with this, you can choose whether it's wild shape, polymorph, because you have different types. If you're a disguise, appearance, personal, is that persona? Yes, persona. So there's that information there. You can have a different token for when you're doing these things and the name of the shift. This will just make it so you have some flexibility in you know, showing what you're doing. All right, so then we have the log, which really isn't used unless you're doing adventure league stuff. Then you have your DCI number, your faction that you're joined part of, and then you can put adventure notes. Finally, we're to the last part, the actions. So you notice because we added those items, it automatically gives us the roll stuff for it. So with our javelins, we actually had 4 of them, and I believe I added that in there. Javelin, 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 4, yes. Now it does not update the weight, so this technically should probably be 8. But like I said, I'm not a DM that really worries about weights and stuff. So let's go ahead and go back. So with the Barbarian, we have 4 javelins, we have 2 hand axes. So those are for the thrown things. And then we have our battle axe. So one of the first things about our battle axe here is that we can use it one-handed, which is its default here, or we can use it two-handed. So if we click on it, we can actually see that it's also versatile, and you use 1d10 when it's versatile. So you can, I'm trying to remember if you can actually do this. No, you can't. So you can actually create a new weapon in here that will be that same thing. So we're going to add a weapon, and we will call it Battle Axe. Battleaxe. And I'm going to put a V next to it so we know this is versatile. This is, or maybe actually even better might be to say two-hand. So this is if I'm going to use my battle axe two-handed. The only real difference for whoops, this is the one hand. This is the one we I wanted it equipped. This is the one that we actually want to do, is say battle axe and then do two-hand like that. So our modifier is the same, still strength. But what we want to do here is click on this guy, and now we can actually tell it what the damage is. So it is, what was it, 1d10? So we can drag that up into damage, and you'll see it's 1d10 plus our strength. So go here and do, whoops, I overshot it, which sucks because now I have to go through everything. Okay, strength right there. So now you can see it added in our strength. Right now it doesn't have a damage type, so we need to say slashing. And you want to make sure you spell that the same way that this one's spelled here. And I think that should do it. So now we have an equipped battle axe. It's part of that one. But it's two-hand. It's when we're using it two-hand, we actually can deal the potential of 2 more damage. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, so there is that. So the next thing we have to deal with is we have our Draconic things here, which are our race traits. So let's go into spells. And wait for it to load. Oh, the other thing we wanted to do is give him a shield. So now this is also up to the DM's discretion. His actual character didn't mention coming with a shield. He does have 15 gold. I think that might be able to buy a shield. Come on, hurry and load. There. Wait. Spells. Did it load? I think I clicked it twice. All right, so let's go ahead and shrink that just for a second. Let's go look at a shield. We just want a standard shield. Let's just check if he has enough for that. So we'll just use the standard one. Looks like it's 10 gold, so he should be able to buy that. So let's go back to inventory real quick, and we will throw a shield in here. Now, one thing I want to point out is if we go to the main, you'll notice it says 15, right? And once we add this shield, wrong tab. Once we add this shield, you'll see it automatically adds it as an equipped item. And now 17. So he just got a little bit harder to hit, and that cost him 10 gold. Well worth it. So he now has 5. Okay. So now let's go ahead and add these different things. So go back to spells. We'll change it to class features first. Let it think. And there we go. The first thing I like to do is always add my standard actions. So we're going to do, there's dodge. There is, actually I probably want to do it this way first. STANDARDACTIONS. Without an F. Standard without the F. Because see, now I need to drag this one down there. So let's go ahead and do that. And do that. And ignore that. So there's action. Now we can get rid of this action. And get rid of spells. Alright, so let's go ahead and shrink these two down. So now we want to add hide. So we'll drag it on top of standard actions and ready. The other thing, because we have a shield, technically when he's holding his shield, he has the +2 to his AC. But if he's going to use his battle axe as a two-handed weapon, technically he has to drop that shield or stow his shield or something. So we can do that by coming in here. We'll add one more standard action, and we're going to call it stow shield. Now this does not show in the main area in here. It doesn't show that it subtracts 2, but if you're rolling dice, you can actually see that it is doing it. So what we need to do is now, right now this is just an item. It doesn't even know what it is. It's just a thing. So in order to make it so it's an actual action and gives an effect, we need to go to add action and go to add effect. And then we click on this little guy, and here we need to type in the condition or the description. Stow. Can't spell at all. Stow shield. And we're going to go ahead and put a semicolon there. And this is going to affect our AC. So we're going to say AC colon, and it's going to remove 2 from it. And that is all we have to do. Then we will always want to make it so it's himself, and it lasts for 1 round. That means at the end of the round, it'll automatically restore his shield. And there we go. So now we have this nice thing that when we click it, he'll put away his shield, or she'll put away her shield, and she'll be good. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is we can minimize this. Whoops, that's not the minimize. We click there to minimize it. Now what we want to do is come into here, and we want to find Barbarian, which is right at the top. And this will show us all our different Barbarian features. So the only one we have currently is Rage. And all we have to do, take it, drag it into here, and you'll see it calls it Spell Cantrips. I'm going to change the name of that to class FEATURES. That way when we get more, we'll be able to put them up there. Also, because we already know he's a Barbarian, I like to just get rid of that part. And you'll see that spells recreated. We'll go ahead and delete that one. And there's our Barbarian Rage. We just click on the little icon. We can click on this icon, or I'll show you a better way in just a minute. So he only has the one feature. We can go ahead and close that. Now let's go ahead and go to race traits. Holy cow, we're at 40 minutes. Serious? We're almost done, I promise. Alright, since race is not a barbarian, we need to... Oh, actually, I wanted to still stay there. Go to Dragonborn. Dragonborn. And you'll see we have breath weapon and damage resistance. So we're going to drag that there, and then we're going to change it to be race traits. RAC, maybe we'll do racial traits. Racial, GRAITS, like so. Click over here. We already know we're Dragonborn, so we don't need that chunk, and we can get rid of spells. And we're also going to do, that was our breath weapon, we want to do our resistance. Now, these are Rob Tui's things, and they have a little thing that you need to do in order for them to work properly. So notice how this says edit. What you need to do is click on the little magnifying glass, and you're going to change this to whatever that type was. LIGHTNING. So it's lightning, right? So we can go ahead and close that now. And then right here we have another edit. So click here, right here where it says resist edit. LIGHTNING. Lightning. And there we go. So now when we apply this on ourselves, if lightning hits us, we'll actually automatically resist it. So there we go. There's our racial traits. Once again, we already know we're Dragonborn, so we can get rid of that. That's completely optional. Now, the other thing I like to do is we have consumables, things that, you know, as you use them, go away. And I like to keep track of that without having to go back into the inventory. Usually at the end of a session, I'll go back into the inventory and update it according to what things we have. So clicking on the little star here will add a power. And we will call this CONSUMABLES, and go ahead and click here. And now you'll see we have our consumables. So all of these are just strictly what we're actually carrying, and we're just going to keep track of them. So let's just look really quick. What are consumables? Let me write these down just so I make sure I get them all. So as we go down the list, we have 5 incense. INCENSE incense sticks. We have a mess kit. Well, that doesn't matter because that's the rations. I go by rations. And there's 10 of those. There's 5 of the incense. I didn't write that down. We have a rope, 10 bucks. We have 10 torches. We have a water skin. I like to just say that we have 10 rations and 10 water skin. Basically, that's drinks of water or something like that. So I'm just going to call it water. And then that looks like it's it. So those are things. The other thing I like to do for my players, just to be a nice DM that I am, is I will actually also give everyone 1 healing potion. And part of the reason I like to do that, one is so I can show them this mechanic. Healing potion, just a standard. So potion of healing, let's just grab that there, and you'll actually see it put it in here. Oh, we need to put it in the backpack. I was like, where is it? It's not showing. So backpack. That do it? Yes. All right, so now we have 1 healing potion. So keeping track of those things, we're going to go ahead and call this first one healing potion. Healing potion. Now I will tell you, my following videos after this one will not be so detailed. with all the different stuff. Or I don't know, maybe they will. Because maybe someone's just watching how to make a barbarian, someone's watching how to make a sorcerer or something. So we're gonna, I don't know, I'll address it as we get there. So this is kind of a finicky thing. You actually have to keep clicking on this, and after you click it once, it goes away. But then you have to turn it off and then back on, and then get the plus back. So we have a total of 4 things. So we have 3 so far, because I already have the healing potion. Alright, so here we go. So let's go ahead and we'll do TORCHES, torches. Click on the next one. Type RATIONS. Do WATER. And finally, INCENSESTICKS. Probably just make that uppercase. Alright, so now we have that. So now what we need to do is make it so these have values, because right now they're just simple words. If we go down here, bring this up just a little. So if we go and click off of this, we'll see 2 buttons appear. In order to add values to these, with exception, we need to do something first to healing potion. Like we did with our stow shield, we're going to right click. We're going to say add an action, but instead of an effect, we're going to do a heal. So we're going to do that. We're going to go ahead and say heal. We're going to click here. Default healing potion does 2d4. So we're going to drag those up there and +2. So there you go. You can have it be the target because they might give it to someone else, or if they are required to use it on themselves, you can leave it self. So now you'll see we actually have a little plus here for healing. And if we click that, you'll see it rolls the 2d4, adds in the 2, which that is a terrible roll, and would heal you for 4 automatically. Technically at this point you need to mark off that you've used your healing potion. And then at the end of the session, go, instead of deleting this, I usually just have them set it to 0. That way they don't have to re-add it later on. They can just add a number there. Because you get healing potions lots throughout adventures. Alright, so now that we have that, we have our healing potions, we have our incense and everything else. We need to give them values. So let's go ahead and we click on this so it says preparation. We can change this to 1 healing potion. We have 5 incense sticks. We have 10 rations. Whoops, the other 10. We have 10 torches. And I'm going to say we have 10 water. So when we use a ration, we basically use a water. And then once we click off that, now we'll actually see we have little values here. Now it is important to note that when we use this heal, it does not mark this off. Let's see if that's a better heal. That is a much better heal. So it does not mark that off. So your player would have to mark that off. And you'll see that it disappears, and that's because we're in combat mode. When we're in standard mode, we can see everything. Combat mode tries removing things that are no longer relevant. So, and then once you get a new healing potion, you can go ahead and uncheck that. So those are your 3 states right here. We have standard, which is generally what it's on when you first get here. There's preparation. This is if you have spells and spell slots and stuff. It'll keep track of that information for you. Packed magic and so on and so forth. And also preparing your actual how many usages and stuff like that to create those little dots. And then combat is ready for war, and that will remove things. If you have spells and you use all the spell slots, it'll get rid of the whole category of spells. The next thing that is nice is you don't always want to have to click on this magnifying glass. So if we click off summary, which gets rid of all the text here, if we click on actions, it simplifies it a whole lot, so it shows all the different actions. And I think that is it. We now have a Dragonborn Barbarian. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is going to take roughly 50 minutes. So If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter. Check out my Discord and my other channels. And don't forget about my great big game giveaway. We're there. We've hit 1,000. Now you need to sign up for my Discord. Join my Discord so you're eligible for winning. And that's it. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.